Hello guys, I am back now again with the physics question paper solving. Today we will be discussing paper 5054 October 2017 session, and that is paper 11, and I will be discussing about question 11 to 15. So let's start with our questions. Now number 11, a gas is heated in a closed container of constant volume. What happens to the molecules of the gas? Okay. Normally when a gas in a closed container is heated and it is a constant volume, normally that happens, the heat energy from the outside enters into the molecules of the gas via the container surface. This happens via conduction. Now the heated molecules gain in kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy of molecules is given by this formula. Here Ek equals to half mc square. Here Ek is the kinetic energy, m is the mass of the molecules, and c square represents the mean square speed of molecules. From this equation we see that since kinetic energy is increasing due to the heat, so speed will also increase. So this tells us that the molecules will move faster. So answer C. So we have the correct answer is C. We can omit the rest of the questions, rest of the answers actually. Okay, now I move to question 12. Today is actually easy questions. Okay, here it says scientists believe that some lakes are shrinking because of evaporation, and it's asking what increases at the rate of evaporation. Okay, first of all we need to know what is evaporation. Evaporation is basically the change of liquid to a gas, but it can happen at any temperature, and it depends on many factors. It depends on the surface of the area, it depends on the depth of the lake or water vessel, and it also depends on the temperature of the water's body. Okay, now in these options, option A tells us a decrease in the surface area. Our intuition says that a decrease in surface area will decrease the evaporation, so we can omit this option. The second option is a fall in water temperature, and now this will mean that the water molecules will have lower kinetic energy, so again evaporation rate will be lower, so we can also omit this. Option C tells us an increase in the depth of lake. If we increase the depth of the lake, then again evaporation rate will be lower because the water molecules will have lower kinetic energy. And the last option tells us wind blowing across the surface. Okay, this option will increase the evaporation rate, and this will be our correct answer. This will happen as more molecules will be carried away from the surface of the water. Okay, let's move to question number 13. Okay, the question 13 tells us solid wax is melted in a boiling tube and then allowed to cool. The graph shows the cooling curve. What is happening between points X and Y? Okay, we repeat the question again. Solid wax is melted in a boiling tube and then allowed to cool. So it is first melting. Now what does melt mean? Melt means conversion of a solid to a liquid. Okay, so it is the solid wax becomes a liquid, then it's allowed to cool. If it is allowed to cool, what will happen? Its temperature will decrease until at a certain time it will reach the melting point. At this point the temperature will remain constant for some time, and it will convert back to a solid. So it will convert back to a solid from the liquid, then again its temperature will decrease. So the question asks us what is happening between points X and Y. Let's look at the options. the liquid is at its boiling point. This option cannot be true, as the liquid doesn't become a gas. Now answer B tells question option B tells us the liquid is turning to solid. This is the correct answer, because the solid wax is melting, it becomes a liquid, and when it is left to cool, its temperature drops and reaches to melting point, at which it turns to a solid. After that, its temperature again drops until it reaches the room temperature. Now option C tells us the solid has reached room temperature. Can be omitted, and as well as the last option. Now next move to question number 14. The question number 14 asks us, during boiling and during melting, a substance either takes in energy or gives off energy. Which row gives the energy transfer corresponding to the change of state? For answering this question, we need to have clear concepts about boiling and melting. So what is boiling? Boiling occurs when a liquid takes in heat energy and turns to a gas. Basic example can be a water boiling to a steam. Now another we think need to know what is melting. Okay, this is wrong here, it will be melting. Melting occurs when a solid takes in heat energy and turns to a liquid. Example, ice melting to water. So from this concept we can tell that during boiling energy is taken in, and during melting energy is taken in. So the correct answer will be D. Now this is our last question, that is question number 15. The temperature of a 50 gram mass of a metal is raised by 40 degrees centigrade. The specific heat capacity of the metal is 0.40 gram joule per gram per centigrade. So what are the values given here? Mass is given, change in temperature is given 40 degrees centigrade, and specific heat capacity, that is represented by C, is 0.40. This is a straightforward question. We can apply the formula thermal energy equals to mc del theta, and we just prove the values and we get 800 joule. So the correct answer will be 15D. That's all. That's our 5 questions solved. Thank you all, and best of luck for your practice.